Namaste, my dear friends. A lot of people raise this question to me about the connection between yoga and modern science. I see that yoga and modern science converge in certain places and are divergent in certain other places. More and more, modern science is validating what yoga is talking about, and there are these areas of convergence, and that is what I would like to present first. First and foremost, the modern science is now coming to the idea that health is a holistic principle. And many times you see many doctors, many psychiatrists talking about physiological illnesses as having psychosomatic causes as well. And this is what Patanjali already talks about in Yoga Sutra, that health is a holistic principle, and therefore disease also is a holistic principle. So here, modern science is slowly converging into the dimension of what yoga has already presented 2500 years ago. The second field that I see modern science validating yoga very late is the concept of what is called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is a phenomena where they are saying that the mind, the brain, can learn things and evolve. And that is what Patanjali is saying, that is possible for the mind when he is talking about what is called the old samskaras replacing the new. So he is talking about already the capacity of the mind to learn things and replace one with another kind of learning. And that is what is neuroplasticity. They made experiments in London where they found that the hippocampus of the taxi drivers were much enlarged compared to those of bus drivers, because the bus drivers had the same route to do, they didn't really need to learn something new. Whereas the taxi drivers, they were going in different routes for each customer, they had to learn new and new routes. So that part of the brain started to become much more dominant. That's what is called neuroplasticity, and Patanjali already talks about this in the concept of learning new samskaras. The third aspect is the principle of Viniyoga. What Patanjali says is that when we are approaching health and healing, we have to embrace the principle of Viniyoga, which is what is called an individualized approach. We cannot take the same approach to everybody. And Patanjali talks about this already in the sutras. Modern medicine is coming to this point of view and this point of understanding when they are now talking about what is called personalized medicine or individualized medicine. And this field is going to become more and more dominant in the future, but Patanjali has already talked about it in the sutras many years ago. Another area where modern science is now coming to the same ideas that Patanjali has presented is what is called transgenerational impressions. Now, modern science, especially psychiatrists and psychoanalysts, are talking about what is called transgenerational trauma. Patanjali has talked about all this already in the sutras through the words called vasana, subliminal impressions that we are inheriting from our ancestors or from our own past experiences. Now, modern psychoanalysts and medical professionals are focused mostly on transgenerational trauma, but Patanjali leaves it as a more open-ended word and leaves it as vasana, which can include both traumatic experiences as well as positive experiences. So this is yet another fascinating area where the modern science is converging to the views of Patanjali. So that is some of the very important areas where modern science is now converging into Patanjali's way of thinking. However, there are some very important divergent paths as well. The point of view of modern science is a very materialistic point of view where they are only focused on material science. Whereas the philosophy of yoga is a spiritual and energetic science as well. Yoga transcends matter and includes also the energetic dimensions as well as the spiritual dimensions. Now, these are not completely accepted by modern science because there is not a measurable principle or a measurable instrument that can evaluate the energetic or the spiritual dimensions, and that is a very big area of divergence. Another area of divergence is that in modern science, the role of the patient is not self-empowering. it need not be self-empowering because the doctor can take care of the person. Whereas in yoga, the principle is only self-empowering. The yoga teacher, the yoga therapist cannot do anything for the patient. The patient has to practice for themselves. There is no way that the person can expect the yoga therapist to fix their problems. Whereas this is possible in modern science. A surgeon can remove our cancer. A surgeon can remove our blockages in the heart, and we don't need to worry about it. We are passively lying in the operation table and mostly with anesthesia, so we don't even know what is happening during the surgery. So these are two fundamental principles where yoga and modern medicine are divergent. Of course, there are some others as well, but since this is only an FAQ video, we need to respect the brevity of time, and we will conclude here. So these are some important principles of convergence and divergence between yoga and modern science. Namaste, my dear friends.